Hello, 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 my loves. Hear that throat out. You know how they be trying to. Okay, but my loves, let me get a little closer. Okay, get closer again. Alright, we're gonna do a little. Well, I want the sun. Yeah, let me do it like this actually. It feels good. It's the sun directly. So, we're going to do a couple just open book channeling from the dreams book here and see what's going on energetically for the week. Okay, it is Monday, March 9th, which would be 3-9 equals a 12, 9-3 obviously equaling the same thing. 3s, 6, 4s, confirmation, 444, 222, 12s, even 11s are very big numbers today for all signs involved in this reading. It is a general collective energy read, okay? Now, I feel like I'm geared to say this will be members, but we'll see if it gets posted to general collective or the divine members. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know, I have to play with my hair when something doesn't feel. It's just so big, so soft, it's fluffy, y'all. Oh my goodness. But let's see. So what would be? You know what? Let's do it by sign really quick. So, or not sign. So what would be going for this week's energy read for Earth signs? Okay. Affiliated with or in the Divine Chosen Collective. What do we need to know? Okay. So you see sun shining through those windows. Okay, let's see. So it says Susan used to sleep in her mother's bed when her father was working away from home. When she was 7, she woke up to her mother. Oh, she woke up to find her mother dead. Okay, beside her. So she found her mother unalive beside her. Alone in the house, in her terror, she could hardly unlock the doors to get out and tell someone what had happened. The church images links to her experience of her mother's open coffin at the funeral, which intensified her trauma. Shamans and healers. Okay, so this might be definitely a channel reading for anyone who considers himself a healer in the 3D and within the 5D. So a doctor possibly that's in this divine love collective, a healthcare worker, nurses, and or divine feminine shaman, divine masculine shaman, healers, light workers, readers, seers, all that amazing stuff. So let's read, see where my eyes are geared towards here. So shamans have often been depicted dressed as stags because these animals are associated with both wisdom and, I feel like I'm supposed to look at that page too, virility. Yeah, virility. Also, the shaman mask was sometimes made in the zigzag shape of a lightning flash, which symbolized the ability to move between the earthly and heavenly worlds. To be struck by lightning in the shamanic tradition was a sign of initiation. So if you dream of lightning, you may be being inspired towards new spiritual developments. Okay. Siberia, North Americans, Africans, and Aborigines of Australia, y'all. I may have said that word wrong. Confirmation. The shaman interprets images seen in dreams and uses them to cure illness. In healing rituals, the shaman or healer sometimes takes certain drugs, local psychedelic substances, such as peyote, for instance, in order to see the roots of the illness and know which cure to give it. Part of the power of shamanism depends on the union of female and male aspects. The male priest often dresses in women's clothes to recreate symbolically the original, perfect state that exists before the sexes were separated. If you dream of wearing clothes of the opposite sex, explore the possibility that you need more of that gender's traditional qualities to bring balance and wisdom. You have to be in touch with your yin and your yang. I say this all the time. In my business life, I have to be conducted and respected as an emperor, even though I am an empress by parts and energetically. When I feel safe and I'm exploring a loving connection or a family connection, let's just say of anything of the opposite sex, and I feel safe, I'm more vulnerable, I'm more submissive, I'm more, cared for and catered to, right? Because there's a balance there. But if you don't have a partner, even if you do, I would say before you find the ideal partner, you need to know how to regulate your business, your bills, your personal dynamics. Like, one should always be able to preserve themselves and take care of themselves without a counterpart. That is truly, legitimately the truth. Okay? Now, there are times in history and different lineages and traditions where somebody is presented with a dowry and they go straight from their parents' home to a man that takes care of them. But that was a business deal, folks. That wasn't a romanticized relationship, or at least it did not start out as such. Some of y'all are trying to have legendary royal traditions and your bloodlines are heinous. So, clock that tape. The most important thing here is when you are a divine masculine or a divine feminine, it's not that as a divine masculine you're feminine or you're considered soft-spoken or whatever. You can be, but it just means that your intelligence is emotionally dynamic. You understand a woman because you're in touch with the part of yourself that has empathy and sympathy and vulnerability, which also starts with the mother. Okay, and if the mother wound is there, that's something especially divine masculines heal. It's very important. It brings about balance for them, so they can bestow that balance upon their children and their children's children, because the energy is going to live on, because that energy makes or breaks generational curses. So especially for our divine masculines, I'm here to say the divine feminine rising is taking so much elite charge in situations right now. I'm not saying you're not, some of you aren't doing your job. Some of you have chosen karmic routes, and that's neither here nor there, because I'm not really talking to you. If you decide to uplift yourself, you're going to have to start that journey and, come back to this video when you meet that criteria of a divine masculine rising of some sort, right? But what I will say is, to experience a level of realness and love and vibrational authenticity that brings about abundance and good decisions and supreme discernment, you need to know all of yourself, and God makes you in a balanced way so you know how to think rationally and be emotionally balanced. And we're all born that way, right? But it's our upbringing and events and traumas that break that down. So it is our personal responsibility to fix ourselves up for ourselves. And if we have children, most definitely, because the energy is a reflection upon how they will do. Channel motherfucking message.